So Sean, we love living here in St. George, but kind of like we don't talk about Bruno.
We don't talk about Bruno.
But there are some things that kind of suck, right? I mean, there's disadvantages.
It's not perfect, right? I mean, every place has its pluses and minuses.
Yeah.
So of course, St. George doesn't have everything going for it.
Yeah. So before you come running out here to move, you've got to watch this video so you know. I mean, can you handle the disadvantages to living in St. George, Utah?
So stay tuned. What's up, everybody? I'm Sean Dezad.
And I'm Courtney Dezad, and we're with Keller Williams Realty right here in St. George, Utah. And if this is your first time to the channel, don't forget to press on the subscribe button, and don't forget to press on the little bell so you're notified every time that we upload a new video.
And if you're watching this channel, you're probably thinking, wow, I love St. George. I love the red rocks. I love the energy. I just love that, the climate. I really want to move out there now. So what do? I'm not in the area. And I totally get that. That's why you want to reach out to me and my team, because I'll personally make sure that you're taken care of so we can help you find that perfect home. So what you want to do is you want to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email.
Or you can reach out to us via WhatsApp. However you want to get a hold of us, we've got your back. So let's talk about what I would say is the biggest disadvantage in my opinion. And that's because of where we come from. We come from Southern California. I know, California. But Southern California is world renowned for its perfect weather. And so I think that we're particularly, attuned to weather that's not perfect. And so I would say probably the biggest disadvantage of living here in St. George is the sweltering summers.
Yes, I mean, we'll say that it gets hot here, like legitimately really hot.
Sweltering is the word.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a dry heat, but it's still hot. I mean,
Yeah.
It's not like it's very, very hot in the summer. And it's just one of those things that you have to be aware of when you're coming here. So, and if you can't avoid moving out here during June or July,
Yeah.
right in the thick of the heat,
Pretty much everywhere, it's gonna be hot.
that'd be a good idea.
A lot of people do that though, because,
That's just one of the
if you do have kids and you want to move in the summer, that we know a lot of people that moved in the summer, and someone we met recently, they moved in the summer, and I think they moved on the hottest day ever in Utah history. So a nice welcoming
Good luck.
party.
Yeah, seriously. So fantastic luck there. But, you just got to know that here, the rest of the weather all year round is actually really nice.
Yeah.
But you do have that 3-4 month period where it's pretty hot. And so it can get pretty brutal. So again, you just got to be aware of it.
And then if I were to compare it to somewhere else, because my sister lives in Texas and she's lived there for over 10 years now. And I would say the heat here is not as bad as Texas.
No.
Texas is worse because here at least you do get some cooling in the morning and in the evening. Whereas in Texas, I feel like it's just a convection oven. Even if it's, 2 a.m. in the morning, it's the same. It's this hot weather just like blowing on you.
Oh, I just remember when we were visiting her for her wedding, and what a welcome, right? We step out, on Dallas Fort Worth Airport, and just get blasted. And you're usually thinking about a breeze hitting you, and it's a cool breeze. It's actually refreshing. This was, like as you said, a convection like breeze where it blasted you with heat.
Yeah.
And going, oh my God, there's like no, there's no
here.
relief here.
There's no relief.
Yeah.
And speaking of relief, I mean, you can go up to Pine Valley and get some relief. I mean, in Texas, it's just like, there's no relief.
You're done.
You can't get relief.
Yeah. And again, and it's not like, again, lots of parts of the country have,
really hot.
It gets really hot, and that a humid hot too. Whereas at least here, again, it does get hot, but I mean, we'll be real about that. It's just that at least it's a dry heat.
Yeah. So another disadvantage to living here is that there's really no water features.
Well, I would say there's limited water features.
Yeah, limited. I mean, obviously you have, the San Hollow State Park and you
Virgin River.
The Virgin River. And you have, a few reservoirs and stuff, but it's just, I don't know.
It's not, you don't have an ocean, right? You don't have huge lakes.
Yeah, you don't have a big river.
Yeah, you don't have like a lot of these. So again, that's just the area. So if you just got to be aware of it, right?
Yeah.
That you just don't have these like water features probably. Now we do have indoor pools. I guess that is water. But I mean, as far as actual natural features for water, we just don't have that much of it.
Yeah, for example, I mean, you can, play in the Virgin River and that stuff, but it's not really, I mean, it's more just like in your feet, right? I mean, So it's
and depending
not,
on where you are, like,
yeah,
you know, obviously,
then it's just like,
yeah, as you get closer to
wash.
Zion, it's much more impressive. And then,
Yeah.
and then as you get,
impressive.
yes, but as you get farther away from Zion,
Yeah.
it gets,
Yeah. So you don't even know it's a river. You just kind of
you
like,
just know there's just some
what
brush
is
kind of
that?
growing.
Yeah.
You don't really know it's a river itself.
Yeah, so that's, you know, if you're, you know, from the coasts or something, whether the East Coast or the West Coast.
Or the Mississippi River,
or
which we don't have.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's no water really. And speaking of no water, I mean, that's another thing is that I do feel like when you live here, you are more conscious of, you know, drought conditions. And this is something, you know, it's not unique to St. George.
No,
This is the entire
Western United States.
Yeah, Western United States from literally like Texas west. I mean, we all, if you live in the Western United States, you have to deal with drought. But I feel like maybe it's because people are more conscientious here. I would say that you do think about it, I would say.
Yeah, you definitely notice more desert landscapes and like, you know, you don't see as many lawns, which I think is, again, really like responsible, right? Because you don't want to just be wasting water for no reason. And so it does feel like people are just, again, more conscious of the fact that water's not super plentiful here.
Yeah, I mean, we live in a desert.
Yeah.
So another disadvantage is that this isn't, well, I guess it depends on how you look at it. This isn't a huge metropolitan area, which is a big reason why people come here, right? I mean, they like sort of like the small town vibe. But with that, you get the disadvantages of that, where you don't have all of the best shopping, you don't have all of the best dining that you would get in
entertainment choices.
Or entertainment choices that you would get in a big city.
Yeah. So yeah, depending on where you're coming from, if you're coming from a big hub, obviously you're going to notice that it doesn't, you know, again, how could it? It can't, you know, a population of 200,000 can't support everything, right? Mm-hmm. So you just got to be aware that it doesn't have all the stuff. I will say though that for a population of about 200,000 people, punches way above its waistline. It's kind of amazing what we do have here.
It's weight class.
Yeah. So for a population of 200,000, it punches way above its weight class, where you just have so many. You have a good amount of shopping and dining options, but again, it's not. Again, it just can't compare with population centers of like 3 million, 5 million people.
Yeah.
And the good news is though, to offset that, is that just 90 minutes down the road, you got Las Vegas, which has all the shopping and dining you could ever ask for, and entertainment choices too.
Yeah.
So you're not that far away if you really are like just have that itch that you need to scratch. But within St. George itself, or Washington County, I should even say, you actually do have a good amount of options though. But again, it's just not going to compare with, again, these huge metropolitan areas.
Yeah, so if you're used to New York City, London, Paris, this is not it.
But we do have a Costco, and that
is
again, that was actually a prerequisite. I mean, if we didn't have a Costco, I'd have to think long and hard about moving there.
He would never.
Yeah.
No. It's not thinking long and hard.
A little bit of me would have died.
No, hard no. So another disadvantage, and this is something that we are actually currently dealing with right now because we're fixing up our house. Contractors are very hard to come by. So explain it. Sean is more dealing with it than I am. So explain.
Yeah, it's just and again, this is, I hate to say it is the case. However, this is kind of a nationwide thing where contractors are just in super high demand right now. People are building homes. They're sprucing up their own home. They're remodeling. So, you know, there's just a ton of demand for contractors, right? And in St. George, we're seeing that, like, you know, on steroids, especially because of the building. We're building so much here that, again, it's just very tight. You know, it's just like, you know, it's not the easiest to find a contractor. And that's where you got to reach out and find out, like, you know, where, you know, like what contractors are available, and, you know, hopefully will show up on the job, because again, it's a very tight market that, you know, and it's just one of those phenomena we're dealing with right now. It's not this way all the time. It will, you know, it's just one of those things that we're dealing with at the moment though. So
another disadvantage is there's not much nightlife here. I know, well, saying that, I mean, there is nightlife. We actually have a video where we talk about, you know, because obviously Utah, people always wonder, you know, what are the liquor laws in Utah? The liquor laws are a little different. So we actually do a video about all the liquor laws and the nightlife that you can get here. But saying that, I mean, obviously,
it is a disadvantage.
Yeah, this is not Las Vegas, right? I mean, if you're looking for nightlife, if that is why you're moving out here, like,
I would just, you have to really strongly reconsider that. Like, how important is nightlife? Because if that's high up on your list, that's just not what this place is known for. We're much more known for the outdoorsy stuff and during the day kind of stuff. There are those options, but again, it's not this robust night scene for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's growing. You know, the downtown does have some, you know, bars and breweries now, and we have a couple breweries just all throughout St. George. But it's just, I mean, it's a small area. So.
Yeah, it's a small area, and obviously it's just the way it's set up. So it's just one of those things you just got to be aware of, that you're not, it's no Manhattan, certainly not. It's no Vegas. Of course, only 9 minutes away. You can go to the real Vegas. So there you go.
So another disadvantage is the cost of living here is definitely rising, mostly because of the rising cost of housing. And this has obviously happened all throughout the world, but St. George really felt it specifically, last year, so 2021. So explain that.
Yeah. So basically in 2021, we experienced an appreciation of about 40%, which is an incredible amount of a year-over-year appreciation.
Yeah, for real estate, that's insane.
Yeah, and so to give you an idea of perspective here, it's like, the rest of the country, or the country in general, the rest of the United States, about 18.5% appreciation.
Which is still insane.
Which is, a crazy amount. But St. George was over double that. And again, it just drew people like a magnet, and people were willing to pay for it.
Yeah. So another disadvantage is that we don't really have, we have an airport, but it's really not much of an airport. It's very expensive. And if you want to go anywhere in the world, if you need to make an international flight or anything like that, you're going to have to go to Vegas.
Yeah. So that's just one of the things, St. George Regional Airport just isn't, again, it's just not a huge airport. They have only a handful of flights per day. So you're not going to, again, it's just not one of those places. Now, I don't know if that's something that's going to be planned for future expansion. But again, you have to understand it's only a population of about 200,000 people that's really serving. So it's not this huge need.
Yeah,
Now,
I don't foresee it ever being like some huge airport.
No, I don't see that either. But what's good news is that only, again, 90 minutes down the road, you have the Harry Reid International Airport, formerly McCarran International Airport.
Yeah, because Sean always called it McLaren.
Yeah.
And I kept telling him, I'm like, it's Harry Reid. He's like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
So finally he admits that it is.
Well, I saw it on Wikipedia, so it must be true.
True.
But yeah, so
Wikipedia is always correct.
Always correct. And so basically what you have in Vegas, you have a huge international airport that can take you anywhere in the world. And why? Because everywhere in the world, they want to go to Vegas for like some sort of vacation. So it's good news is that, if you really, if you need to get, and again, what's funny is that 90 minutes is not that far of a commute when you consider a lot of these big cities. Like, when you think about like New York City, to get to JFK, depending on where you're in New York City, that's a good 90-minute commute there.
No, it's not 90 minutes.
Oh, it can be.
It's 45. So another disadvantage to living here, and I don't know if it's really it can be kind of annoying, although to me, I find it amusing, is that it's always touristy here. No matter what, even if it's a Wednesday night or something, and you're like, oh, let's just go out to eat, let's take a break or whatever, there's always some event going on, and I'm always like, what? Why? What are these people doing? Like, what is going on? And it's always touristy here.
It's a tourist attraction.
So like, let's say you want to just go out to dinner and you want to go to Benjatai, and then you're going, wait, why is the wait like an hour? On a Thursday night, it just didn't really make sense. And you're like, oh, there's some event,
but
so people flock.
You don't even know what the event is.
Exactly.
I'm always wondering, I'm like, why are these people here? But there's either some mountain biking event or the Ironman or something is going on. Just people are flocking here for some reason.
It's like it's like an amazing city or something.
Yeah, so it gets very touristy. I actually enjoy it because I just think, I'm like, oh, you get into the festive, like, vacation-y aspect, and our kids enjoy it, so I don't mind, but... Yeah,
it definitely, it's fun for us. I know some people, it's ruining their routine, let's say, but for us, we're like, oh, it's kind of cool to see people coming in from out of town.
Yeah, I guess I consider it part of the routine, is that you don't know how long you're going to have to wait to go to a restaurant.
Yes, the routine is the unknown.
So that's it. That's our video.
And if you're thinking, wow, Sean, I'm ready to go. What do I do next? What you want to do is you want to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email.
Or you can reach out to us via WhatsApp. However you want to get a hold of us, we've got your back.